Hi, guys. Welcome to the Kate Daly Show. Wow, I know we've had some crazy shows the last couple of days, but we've talked about so many great things. So I'm going to kind of shoot from the hip just a little bit today. So forgive me on that one. You know, I go a little ADD radio. It's not my fault. It's just, what can I say? There's just so many things to talk about. Listen, there's two things that are really affecting us hardcore right now. Really three. Well, there's a gazillion, but whatever. I don't have time for a gazillion. Let's just stick to like the main three, right? The a la carte course here. Number one, cancel culture. In my own community, they're getting rid of the college name because it's offensive to all of the white people over on the board that aren't from my area who don't understand my history. And so they're getting rid of it and they're telling us we're racist. I'm so glad they're saving me from being a racist. I was a total racist like this year and last year and the year before. Before that, I wasn't, but now I am. So I'm super excited that I'm getting saved from racism. And I have a governor telling me I can't shoot off fireworks and he's keeping me safe. So I'm super glad that I'm safe now. And I'm not a racist anymore. And they're purging me of all these awful things that I am. Thanks. So here's what I would tell you to do, okay? Every time they remove a statue, put up 3 on private property. Every time they take away a name of a college or a mascot that they find offensive because that little cartoon character guy in the middle of the field hopping around is so offensive, make sure that you go and name 3 private businesses the name that they're trying to take away. To the city people that are making sure that housing pops up, I swear to you, this is coming where firemen, policemen, teachers will have housing built for them because they can't afford housing. Biden administration is on this warpath to create the racism lie that's shoring up his infrastructure plan. And as he's doing this, they're going in and building up more and more affordable housing structures, okay? I guess they're not affected by the shortages. So weird. They're not affected by lumber prices. So weird. Anyway, and so either are masks and vaccines. But everything else has a shortage. I wonder why that is. Anyway, I just wanted to mention the fact that we need to be more vigilant in telling these city managers that are unelected in most cases, these awful mayors, these city council people, these county commissioners, these governors, to stop going with the paycheck and stop hurting our country and destroying our country through propping up more and more affordable housing. Because as the housing market goes up, where only the rich will be able to afford housing, the middle class will then be eradicated and we'll all be in affordable government paid for housing. Kind of like other countries like China and Russia. They do that too. Interesting. Just making that little parallel. So what happens is we tend to think of ourselves as compassionate and wonderful human beings because we condone the use of taxpayer dollars to go into these programs to give people a place to live. The problem is that the compassion is born out of emotion, really crazy emotion, not real principles and truth, but just emotion. So the compassion isn't rooted in anything solid or truthful. It's just, I'm a compassionate human. I'm amazing. Look at me. Pat me on the back. And this is what people do when they say, I love good government programs that give people things that I can't give them. Well, you could give them that. You could serve yourself physically, but you don't. You just pat yourself on the back and go, there's a government program for that. Aren't I great? Aren't I awesome? Because a government program is doing what I would do, but I don't really want to do it. So anyway. So there's that. And then there's the city people and the county commissioners that all go, hey, I got you a check. Look at me. I'm the revenue catcher. I got a check for you. And the revenues are going up. I know it's your own tax money, but don't mention that. It's just grant money. It's just grant money. That's all it is. So they go, it's grant money. Look what I'm doing for my community. I'm awesome. Elect me. And then we're like, oh, we love him. He's getting us money. We don't care where it's from. It's just money. We love money. And so what they're doing is they're getting these grant programs to build this affordable housing, and you'll see it cropping up. And the shortages aren't affected by anything the government does. So they keep cropping up everywhere you go, and you're building Slumsville, but we don't realize we're building it for the middle class eventually. See, everyone's a cog in the wheel. They're a cog in the wheel. They think they're a good person, and then they either vote for cancel culture or the housing epidemic. And what they do is they say, I'm a good person. Look at me. I feel super good today. My emotions are high because I feel good. My crazy emotions. I'm an amazing person. I don't really give, but I'm a giver. Yeah. And I really like it when we turn our tax dollars into federal money that's spun back to us with everyone taking their cut. I love that. Love it. I wrap myself in a big cozy hug from the feds. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Susan also mentioned on today's show that books have changed. Back in 1887, I want to get this number right, you had 69 adjectives in the first five sentences of a book. Beautiful writing, wonderful writing. In today's books, 11 to 69. Look at that ratio. That's what I'm talking about. It's like we have changed the language in books. We've dumbed them down. We are creating generations of kids who can't think. We don't ask questions. We don't ask questions about COVID. There was an article I cited today that the CDC on September 1st of 2020 came out and admitted that the CDC said, they reported that only 6% of the deaths were actually from COVID. I don't believe that either because they don't even have a sample. But that they were actually from COVID, and then they named their top reasons for death in the 94% of the deaths of COVID. You want to know what they were? These were the top. Can you imagine what the bottom of the list was? Influenza and pneumonia, number 1. Respiratory failure, hypertensive disease, diabetes, vascular and unspecified dementia. Cardiac arrest, heart failure, renal failure, and then get this, intentional and unintentional injury. Like my hand getting sawed off? Yeah, like that. COVID, because COVID. Poisoning and other adverse events, and then other medical conditions. And they wrote these as the top events, and they admitted this on MSN, on mainstream. And this was quite a while ago. This was in September, and they admitted the CDC came out and said this. And they said, yeah, everyone that died of COVID pretty much died of all this stuff. You know, like dementia and stuff, but don't mention that. That's a secret. So no one would talk about it. No one would say it. We talked about it in the video we put out about COVID that went viral, but nobody will talk about these things. Nobody will ask these questions. Do not run down and get an experimental shot. Please don't do it. They don't even know what's in it. Dr. Robert Malone this week speaking out on the effects of this experimentation. He was the inventor of the mRNA. Are you going to listen to him or your neighborhood physician that buries their head in the sand and goes, they told me it was totally safe? Which one are you going to listen? Which one are you going to listen to? The whistleblower or the doctor that goes, they said so. Vaccines are safe. It's not a vaccine, people. It's just not a vaccine. So please, please make sure that you are getting correct information from doctors who are actually going out on a limb to give you information they're not supposed to give you. Trust them. Trust them. Don't trust the neighborhood physician or the administration at the hospital that says, oh, I know, we totally took money for this lie, but hey, we're in for your best interest. Hey, you know. Anyway, you guys, go to katedalleyradio.com. I put up show notes because I just got out of Facebook jail, Facebook felon. And I just thought, you know what? I'm on the Kate Dalley show on the katedalleyradio.com page, katedalleyradio.com. There's show notes every day of all the stuff we talk about. Make sure and go there because we also do talk about January 6th, how everyone at January 6th event is now being penalized as a terrorist. But when they went ahead and breached the building during the Kavanaugh hearings, you know what they were given? The post and forfeit thing. You post $50 and the case goes away. Boy, they were even worse than people taking selfies January 6th, being waved in by the Capitol Police. Come on in, everyone. You're a terrorist. Come on in. I know. It's illegal. Come one and all. That's what happened January 6th. The officer didn't die by fire extinguisher. No, he actually died of a stroke the next day. Had nothing to do with the people at the Capitol. So the Frank Flaguzzi, that asshat, keeps telling that lie over and over again. He's FBI guy that I got into it with. But they keep telling the lie. And so just make sure you don't believe the lies, because in any other situation, when people would breach and protest and everything else they did, and they even did things that were worse, they got a little slappy-o on the wrist. You're just a protester. But them over there, the people that want the electoral college votes read, Those are the people that are the domestic terrorists. Anyways, have a great day, everybody. And make sure you get over to the show notes on the KateDalleyRadio.com page, okay? Because I list everything there, and you can see my Facebook post there, too. So I don't go back to Facebook jail. I don't know. I love being a felon. I obviously was not rehabilitated. I'm just saying. Anyway, thanks, you guys.